Hello, this is a video tutorial on Unit 2, Activity 2, and in this activity we're going to focus on story elements. So if you take a look at the Minds On section, you'll be introduced to the idea of basic story elements. And no matter what type of English course you've taken before, you've probably covered the same basic story elements. And to kind of get you thinking about or remembering those story elements, I'm going to have you watch a very basic little short animated film, an award-winning film called The Present. And I'm going to have you think about 4 questions here. Who is in the story? Where does the story take place? What happens in the story? And what is the story's message? And if you can answer those 4 basic questions for this little short film, you've already demonstrated a basic understanding of probably the 4 most important story elements. So that's just to get us on topic here. If we move down to the action section, we'll specifically spell out the story elements that we're going to look at. And no matter what type of story that you're reading or listening to or watching, it's probably going to have the same basic elements. It's going to have character, plot, point of view, theme, and setting. So we're going to take a look at those 5 elements in this activity today. But these these story elements will not leave us. We will continue to be talking about these story elements throughout the rest of Unit 2, and then certainly into Unit 3 when we look at our novel. So it's important that we know our basic story elements. So if we take a look, you'll see that each of the 5 are covered. So we'll discuss character and how to describe a character, and then the different types of characters that you'll come across in stories. And then there'll be a video that'll give you a little bit more detail. For plot, we'll break down the basic plot structure that most stories follow, and I'm sure you've seen this plot outline before with exposition, rising action, climax, falling action, and resolution. Make sure you know each of the different parts of the plot structure. And then every plot, and you've probably heard this before, maybe from me, every plot has to have conflict. If you don't have conflict, you don't have a story. And so we'll look at the different types of conflict that you can have in a story. And then here again is going to be a summarizing video that's going to go over the plot structure, and it's going to mention the importance of conflict. And third, we'll take a look at setting. And when we think of setting, we should think of the location of the story, the time period, the mood, and something we call the historical context. Particularly for our purposes, the mood will be very important. I will expect you to be able to describe the mood in a scene in a story. And so there's a little bit more detail here in this video on what is the mood of a scene. And just to be clear here, some stories will have the same mood throughout the entire story, whereas other stories will change locations and change the scene, and the mood will change as the story goes. So depending on the story you read, you might have different moods, maybe different time periods and different locations as well too. Okay, so it's important to follow along in the story to make sure that you're paying attention as the setting changes. And fourth, we have point of view. And for our purposes, there are 3 main points of view that can be used when telling a story. There is first person, there's third person observant, and third person omniscient. And I'm going to expect you to be able to look at a story and tell me which point of view is being used, and explain to me how you know that that point of view is being used. And eventually what I'll expect you to do is I'll expect you to be able to comment on how you think that using that particular point of view affected the telling of the story. And so for a little bit more detail, you've got a video here on the different points of view, and it's going to use the balcony scene in Romeo and Juliet, one of the most famous scenes in literature, to explain how changing the point of view can change how a scene or how a story is told. And lastly, we've got theme. And so a theme is a central message or idea that's being presented in a story. And so a theme can come in a number of different forms. So it can be a moral, it can be a life lesson, it can be an ethical question, it can be a view on human nature. So it's the author's attempt to kind of make us think while we are reading and try to present us a message or an idea that we should consider. Some important notes here I'd like to mention. A theme is not a topic. A theme is more detailed than a topic. So sometimes students will tell me the theme of this story that I've read is love. Well, love is a topic. It's not a theme. So in order to determine the theme of the story you're reading, you have to ask some deeper questions. And sure, the theme could be about love and could be saying something about love, but it's not just love in and of itself. It's not just a one or two word topic. It has to, in other words, the story has to be saying something about love in order to be a theme. Okay. Also, when you think about theme, don't include the character names or the locations of the story or the specific events that are occurring in the story. The theme goes beyond the story you're reading. The theme is a universal message that everyone that reads the story should be able to understand. So don't think, of course, you're getting the theme from the story, but you're not using aspects of the story to present the theme, if that makes sense. The theme is a message that goes beyond the story itself. To get a little bit more detail on that, you can take a look at this Khan Academy video on understanding theme, and they'll actually come up with a short little story and explain how you can pick out a theme in that story. All right, so once you've gone through the 5 different story elements in our consolidation section, what you're going to do is you're going to take a graphic organizer called I Read, I Think, Therefore, and it'll explain what you're going to do in that graphic organizer. And you can download the graphic organizer I Read, I Think, Therefore right here. And what you're going to do with that graphic organizer is you're going to use it to make notes when you read a short story. So you're going to choose one of these 3 short stories, and when you click on any of the 3 short stories, what you'll see is it opens up in the same page. I've got the short stories all from the same website, and you can read the short story. You can also listen to the short story right up here. So it's your choice. Whichever one of these 3 stories sounds interesting to you, you might want to take a quick look on the page where the stories are located. You might want to take a look at all 3 stories. You don't necessarily have to read through all 3 of them, but choose one of them and fill out the graphic organizer I Read, I Think, Therefore. What you're doing is you're creating your rough work or your notes for the assignment that we're ultimately going to do in this activity, because the assignment will be based on whichever one of the stories you chose to read. So when you've done that, you're done with the content and you can move on to the assignment page.